Hey everyone, I'm Mike Evers, OrthoWorld's Senior Market Analyst. We just finished up our reporting for the second quarter, which means we're halfway through 2024, and it felt like a great time to check in on the state of the trauma market. So let's jump in. In our most recent annual report, we estimated that the trauma market would hit a worldwide total just over $9 billion, with growth in the mid-single digits for 2024. Based on public company performance in the first and second quarter so far, we're on track to hit that growth rate. If we look out a little bit longer term to 2027, we foresee the trauma market hitting $10.2 billion worldwide. You can check out the 2024 edition of the Orthopedic Industry Annual Report for more details. So let me quickly cherry pick three storylines for trauma from 2024 so far. The first one has to be the slowdown of the foot and ankle market. Now, there are a lot of factors at play here, but I think three of the primary ones are any kind of backlog procedure bolus has probably been worked through, and we're looking at baseline volumes going forward. The other thing to consider is that foot and ankle procedures tend to have to fight for OR time and OR space, as they're prioritized lower in the stack of orthopedic procedures. And finally, this may just be a hallmark of the foot and ankle market. If we look back at the players in this space over many years, they often comment about this quarter-to-quarter or transitory softness that the market sees. So I think that's what's going on here, but definitely bears watching. The second thing for me is offsetting that slower foot and ankle market is the ramping up of the growth rate in the core trauma market. This really has been spearheaded by Stryker after their integration with Wright Medical, a renewed and doubled focus on core trauma. And what we see with companies like Stryker is that they're at the very beginning of new product cycles. So a lot of innovation is entering the core trauma market. And then those innovations are flowing through to rededicated and specialized core trauma sales teams. So I think that's part of the reason that part of the market has had an elevated growth rate over the last year or so. And then finally, I'm looking at the inroads that enabling technology is making into the trauma market. Paragon 28 does a really great job of articulating the need for technology in a space and specialty like foot and ankle, where patient outcomes aren't as good as they could be compared to other specialties. And as we look at those other specialties, we see that where they have technology, you get implant pull-through and account stickiness because of that technology. I think as we consider the broader enabling technology space within orthopedics as well, we see companies doubling and tripling down on specific types of technology and even packaging it in different form factors to meet a wider array of surgeon preference. All right, let's wrap things up talking about three companies that have unique opportunities ahead of them in the second half of 2024 and beyond. Number one is Enovis's foot and ankle business, which is going to reach $100 million in sales in 2024. That's doubly impressive because of the relative youth of that business within Enovis, but also doing it and taking share in a softer, more difficult foot and ankle market. When you hear foot and ankle players talk about increased competition within the space, I think Enovis is on the short list of companies that they're imagining when they say that. The second company for me is Orthofix. Now, Orthofix's trauma products have typically been skewed heavily to very mature European markets. However, the company identified a quote-unquote enormous opportunity to shift those products to the US market, and early returns have been really good. Orthofix's US trauma sales have grown in the mid-teens for the first half of 2024. Now, that's against a pretty small base, but I think it's a great start to getting that strategic shift in place. The last company I want to mention is X-Bolt. X-Bolt has an expandable and mechanically reversible bolt to treat hip fractures, and it's one of the only trauma startups to close funding in the last year and change. The company expects about $13 million in sales for 2025, with a focus on attaining profitability. And I think those factors could very soon make it a very attractive, if you'll excuse the pun, bolt-on acquisition for a larger trauma player. Okay, so let's quickly recap what we talked about today. Number one, we're expecting just over $9 billion in sales worldwide for the trauma market in 2024. Our three big storylines so far this year are the slowdown of foot and ankle, the the ramp up of core trauma and the inroads enabling technology is making into this space. For companies, we talked about Enovis, OrthoFix, and Xbolt. If this kind of information is helpful to you, the best way to stay on top of it is by becoming an OrthoWorld member. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell so you know whenever we launch a new video. I'm Mike Evers. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.